All right, another vanilla fragrances video for you. Yes, we've got another vanilla focused fragrance video for you. This is dark, ambery, resinous, smoky, leathery, even boozy vanilla fragrances in one video. And this video is pulled from the 100 vanilla fragrances deep dive video that I aired several months ago. And we've taken a portion out of that video and aired it individually here, edited when the deep dive video is not edited. Are you a fan of the darker, ambery, resinous, smoky, maybe leathery, boozy vanilla fragrances? Let me know, add a comment below. But before I get to these fragrances, guys, I do want to mention Scentfest SF for you again. If you haven't yet heard about it and you haven't gotten your tickets, please do. I have it linked in the info box. There's also a video on the announcement. You can go catch the video and discover it and then get your tickets and plan your travel to come out here to California and participate in Scentfest SF, which is happening at the Fort Mason, an awesome venue overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, and the San Francisco Bay. And it happens around the same time as a few other fragrance and beauty related events are happening all in Northern California. So I would love to see you here, meet you on June 26, 27, and 28 for Scentfest SF. Now let's discover darker amber vanilla fragrances. Before I get to those, just want to mention to you guys, we do have our latest Scent Club kit. If you haven't bought that kit yet, it features 3 awesome scents, one of which is Liquor BPM from L'Orchestre Parfum. And we've got Vava Vanilla, which will be coming up here later on. This is also featured in the kit. And Le Bras de Morphe from Hellenist. Vava Vanilla obviously is from Sarah Baker. And so, yeah, get that kit. It's in the store now. Really a great collection of 3 fragrances from indie niche fragrance houses. All right, let's move on to the list now. We're going to start with AKRO's Glow. And AKRO's Glow is an amber vanilla fragrance. Dark, a little smoky, resinous, balsamic, spicy. Wears really wonderfully. I wouldn't say it's super duper dark, but it's in the darker category, the ambery resinous category. No leather here, at least not to my nose. Might come off a bit boozy, but not super boozy as well. I think the name, fits appropriately. For some reason, though, it's called Glow. I always think gold because it is in that kind of gold, shiny color, reflective color. But if you like it kind of resinous, sticky, ambery for sure, try Glow. Glow is definitely one of those awesome amber vanilla fragrances. Up next, going to the house of Al Jazeera. It's La FORET. Let me know if you're familiar with La FORET or Al Jazeera fragrances. This starts off kind of sweet gourmand vanilla, eventually dries down to amber resin, earthy patchouli. So super sexy, by the way. Really an awesome dry down. If you like patchouli mixed with vanilla, sexy patchouli. In fact, the patchouli in this kind of reminds me of the patchouli in their patchouli fragrance, which I was recommending for a bit. It's been a while since I've spoken about it, but I haven't been speaking about patchouli fragrances a lot. But the patchouli in this does remind me of the patchouli in the patchouli fragrance from Al Jazeera. But it is, like I said, very vanillic. It gets resinous and dark and ambery in the dry down. But up top, you've got a really nice, fluffy, creamy vanilla, kind of gourmandesque. I don't think the name fits the fragrance, but the smell is so divine, so beautiful, so gorgeous. Up next, going to the house of AMER. It's VANULIA. Are you guys familiar with this house? It's a small indie niche house. I would say this probably would have fit in the indie niche category, which I probably should have put there, but it's kind of a smoky, resinous, dark take on vanilla. Not your usual gourmand vanilla, just a bit more artisanal, smoky, dark. It's the anti-gourmand vanilla. It doesn't really act gourmand whatsoever. Lots of spices though, many dark notes. It comes off a bit inky to me. Yeah, if you're looking for gourmand vanilla, this is not it. But definitely dark, resinous, smoky, and leathery. Yeah, now that I think about it, I probably should have put this in the indie category, but it's here right now. So that's AMER VANULIA. And next we've got Amouage's Material. Very resinous experience. Super resinous, in fact. In the end, it's an amber vanilla, but the resins kind of take over. It's also very spicy. It's total Cecile Zarokian. Her fragrances seem very complex. You can actually smell the complexity. Like sometimes when the fragrances are not complex, you can kind of see through the notes. It's a little hard to see through the notes here. There's a lot going on. I think it's a who's who of resins. Resins that are sweet, vanillic, and also smoky, peppery. Of course, there's vanilla here, and it's kind of amber in the end because that's what you do. I mean, that's what you get with all those notes. Wears like an amber, but it's got a lot of vanilla. I think there's some woods in here as well, for sure. I'm picking up woods, but it's definitely on the dark side material from Amouage. Let me know if you're familiar with that. Next, going to the house of Atelier d'Azur. We've got 2 fragrances from this house, original version and an extract version. I'm talking about Lune Feline. Look at that. Gold flakes bobbing around. Lune Feline is very balsamic. It features balsamic notes, resins, vanilla, of course, spices, musky touches. It comes off a bit medicinal, by the way. It's sweet, spicy, musky, balsamic, amber, vanilla. Definitely a dark take on vanilla. Do you guys get the medicinal quality from this? I once recommended it to somebody and they said it was too medicinal for them. They actually said it was too medicinal. I always thought it was medicinal, but ever since they mentioned it, it's kind of become a bit more. But I still really love this. It kind of reminded me of a dark take on Eau de Well, but yeah, really nice take on vanilla in a dark form. And my very first Atelier d'Azur fragrance. And then here we have the Extrait de Parfum version. So if you want something much more intense, definitely try this version. The gold flakes do come through, by the way. They do spray through, as you can see right there. It's interesting, with extract versions of Eau de Parfum fragrances, it's actually, whenever I spray it right after, the top notes hardly appear. And I think it has or features less top notes because it is an extract. They want to intensify it. So they've increased or boosted up the base notes. So it goes right to the base notes for me. I'm not picking up much up top. I believe this fragrance overall has cardamom in the notes. I think that's contributing to the medicinal quality a little bit as well. But it's definitely a much more intense version of the original. Deeper, much deeper, stronger, even further darker. And the resins are amplified, or the amber balsamic notes. But still a great DNA. I don't know which I prefer more. I kind of like the extract here a little bit today. So that's Atelier d'Azur, Lune Feline Extrait de Parfum. And then we've got Vanille Carbone. Vanille Carbone from Atelier MATERI this time, not Atelier d'Azur. God, there's a lot of Atelier. Atelier Cologne, Atelier d'Azur, Atelier MATERI. Sadly, I don't feature Atelier Cologne much in my videos because it's not really distributed in the USA much. But Vanille Carbone is dark, oily, greasy, leathery take on vanilla. It's not a sweet, cakey, cookie, fluffy marshmallow gourmand. Definitely not. But if you like that kind of greasy, oily, dark vanilla, I'll definitely try it. And the thing is, this fragrance is created by the same perfumer that created Vanilla Sex. Totally night and day different vanilla fragrances. Vanilla Sex is bitter almondy, lots of vanilla. This is, like I said, super dark, greasy, oily, leathery, smoky vanilla. Vanille Carbone from Atelier MATERI. Let me know if you're familiar with that. Next, we've got BDK's Vanille Caviar. This is a somewhat of a polarizing fragrance, I think. And even though when you first spritz it, it is pretty bright, but it does get dark. To me, it gets dark. I haven't been able to click with this one yet, unfortunately. Sadly, it reminds me a little bit of vanilla powder. Then it gets resinous and ambery and dark, a little smoky, leathery. So in the end, it's not your typical gourmand vanilla once again. If you're looking for gourmand vanilla, sweet and cakey and cookies and marshmallows and fluffy, milky, this is not it. It also kind of hints a little bit at Novi vanilla, but still in a different direction. So that's BDK's Vanille Caviar. I've got 2 BDK fragrances, but the other one's in a different category, even though I felt like it could be in this category, because it's called Vanille Leather. I feel like it's quite floral, so I've featured it in the floral category. But let's move on to the house of commodity. We've got gold. I'm going to talk about all 3 of the golds, the gold minus, gold original, and gold plus. Let's start with gold plus first, because to me it's the most dark, and I featured this here, but I've pulled out all 3 of them. So I originally wore gold in the original concentration when the bottles were not in the tall bottles. It was in the original bottles from commodity. I wear quite a bit of it. But I feel like either my palette changed or the fragrance changed. because I used to really love this fragrance. I don't love it as much as I used to. And here, this version, it's sweet, sticky, but also very resinous and ambery for a vanilla-focused fragrance. And lots of woods here as well. So if you, once again, like your vanillas dark, resinous, woods, amber, try this. It's definitely gold. You know, it's got a golden glow. Let's try the Gold Minus, the personal version. And if you guys don't know the Scent Space collection from Commodity, their fragrances are in the white, and they're all minus in the white. That means personal, like it's a personal fragrance. Doesn't have much projection and things like that. And here, it's very transparent and clean. It's sweet, lightly vanillic, I think also. There's a creamy factor about this. But for me, I specifically chose the minus. I'm sorry, the plus. What should I say? The bold. And because it is fitting of this category, the dark, amber, resinous, smoky, leathery, boozy. But yeah, if you like it personal, I think try that. It's definitely vanillic, but it's definitely got that transparent kind of airy quality about it. And here's the original, and the original used to come in the original bottles. They were more flat and more stubby looking bottles. These are tall and upright, specifically for the Scent Space. This is basically in between the two others that I spoke about, the plus and the minus. So it's not super bold and it's not super personal. It's somewhere in between. But to me, this is the one that feels different. I recall I used to love this fragrance because it was more vanillic. Now it's just much darker and not so vanillic. I don't know why. So I prefer the plus or the minus. I don't enjoy the expressive, which is what the ones without the signs on them is called. So you've got the personal, expressive, and bold. But for me, either the personal, because it's that transparency that I like, the clean airiness, or the more intense resinous, dark, you know, smoky amber kind of thing. So just going over the entire gold collection, but I specifically wanted to feature here the Gold Plus. Let me know if you sampled these fragrances. Do you notice a difference, like I do, between the original gold when it wasn't part of the Scent Space collection and now with the Scent Space collection? Let me know, add a comment below. I'm heading over to the DS and Durga house next with Deep Dark Vanilla. Deep Dark Vanilla is exactly what the name says. I had this is a very polarizing fragrance, I think. Kind of like Vanille Caviar. It didn't click with me. I think it's slowly resonating with me. There's something that bothers me in it, but I feel like as the fragrance has settled, it's been 2 years since it launched, I am picking up more patchouli, but it's not the best patchouli, or something in it still bothers me. So it's a very patchouli forward vanilla, but there's something moldy or green, vegetal, something, and normally I like those kind of notes. This one's bothering me, but it's vanilla with a lot of those notes and an overdose of patchouli. It does have a bit of a medicinal quality, but I much prefer the medicinal quality of Lune Feline than this. This is super medicinal, like band-aids and bandages and medicine. I don't know what it is, but let me know if you're a fan of Deep Dark Vanilla. It's definitely Deep Dark Vanilla, but sometimes it takes a while to appreciate a fragrance, and sometimes you will never appreciate it. It'll always be something you hate or do not like. But I am featuring this fragrance here in this category. This is Shalimar L'Essence. It was either in the Gourmand or here. I decided to put it here because it does eventually get ambery in the dry down. And it's a modernized take on the original Shalimar. It's a good work, I think. Delphine did a great job on this one, bringing the original to the modern. You have touches of the original in here, but it's bright and spicy, creamy vanillic, then eventually dries down to kind of an amber resinous experience. Maybe slight bit leathery, but not too much. Again, I wasn't too excited when this launched because I did a video. I bought it in France while I was there last September. And it's grown on me quite a bit. I do enjoy it quite a bit now. I mean, I love this DNA. I love Shalimar. What's not to like about it? Let me know if you're a fan. Shalimar L'Essence. And then, of course, this also from Guerlain has to be here. This is Spiritueuse Double Vanille. It's a dark, boozy take on vanilla. Boozy amber, I should say. Very cooking vanilla type of vanilla. It reminds me of cooking vanilla. There's some light floral touches. There's resins, of course. There's spices. But This is the ultimate in vanilla fragrances. It literally is like cooking vanilla, because that cooking vanilla is boozy. It's got alcohol in it, and this comes off super boozy, but it's delicious. Really, really delicious. I mean, the fragrance has changed from when I first smelled it. It was in the flat bottles with that kind of stamp on it. Then it moved into the L'Art et la Métier collection. Then they did the pump sprayers and brought it back. And then now it's in this collection. This is the uniform bottles of L'Art et la Métier collection. But really great. I would say this is definitely one of the top vanilla fragrances on the market. Realistic vanilla, boozy vanilla, dark and resinous ambery vanilla. That is Spiritueuse Double Vanille from Guerlain. And then we've got Infiniment Coty's Encore un Fois. Let me know if you guys know this one. This is kind of ambery, spicy, resinous. This actually has that fluffy, marshmallowy start, but settles to a dark, woody amber resin thing on skin. But yum, it's yum. It's really yum. One time I met a woman that was drenched with this fragrance. Oh man, she was walking around and I could get whiffs of her. And I was like, damn, lady, what are you wearing? I finally asked her. She was like, Encore un Fois. I'm like, Infiniment Coty, you know that one? Yep, she knew it. It's a Fabrice Pellegrin creation. Really delicious. I like that it's bright and settles to an amber in the dry down. Kind of like the Shalimar L'Essence. Then we've got a fragrance from the house of Initio. It's Absolute Aphrodisiac. Now this one is animalic, guys. And I've got another one that's coming up that's also animalic. So this one has castoreum, which creates that leather accord. But it's kind of caramelly butterscotchy. And the castoreum creates, you know, animalic leather, smoky. I used to recommend animalic fragrances that I didn't find animalic to people. And I think people's sensitivities are, you know, different than mine. I'm sensitive to certain things and other people are sensitive to other things. This came off to animalic for them. I think if you're sensitive to castoreum, stay away from this one. It's leather. It used to be used for leather. I don't know. I don't think they're using real castoreum in here, but it acts like it. So on skin, it's quite musky and leathery, but while all at the same time being butterscotchy and caramelly vanilla. I think it's delicious. I don't know how popular this is for the brand though. Let me know if you're a fan. Okay, we've got another KLE fragrance. This is Oudgasm Vanilla Oud 36. We featured this in a scent club. We did the first 3 ouds in our original scent club kit, and it came with a free 2 ml of the rose because we had the vanilla, cafe, and tobacco, and we featured a small sample of the rose. So this has actually grown on me. It was my least favorite of the 3 that were featured in the kit, but it's grown on me quite a bit. It doesn't act too sweet vanillic. I think the oud in here kind of crosses it out, but it creates this kind of a creamy layer, almost coconutty. Maybe there is coconut in the notes. It's the white musk that's doing it, actually. There's white musk. It's yummy, actually. I mean, I still prefer the cafe oud. That's my favorite. And the tobacco oud by KLE kind of reminds me of tobacco oud by Tom Ford. A little bit, not identical, by the way. But this has grown on me. Let me know if you're a fan. Definitely pick up the oud. It's definitely an oud accord, but you're smelling it. And I think that creaminess is also acting a bit like soap. It's a bit soapy creamy. So I think it's definitely the white musk that's in there. So that is Oudgasm Vanilla Oud 36 from the house of KLE. Next up, we've got Maison Tahiti's Vanille de Minuit. This is a leathery take on vanilla. Whoa, yeah. Lots of saffron here. Acting a bit like Baby Cat, but not quite. I could have also thrown this brand into the indie niche collection of fragrances, but it's sweet but not super sweet. It's saffron heavy, so it's providing that kind of fabric leathery experience. It's peppery, spicy. Doesn't remind me, like, it doesn't smell like Baby Cat or Vanagloria, but it reminds me of it. I think the saffron has been amplified here. It's also a bit metallic, crisp, but it's a great leather vanilla combo that's sort of similar to the idea of Baby Cat, but not quite smelling like it. That's Vanille Minuit from the house of Maison Tahiti. Then we've got a fragrance from the house of Montal. It's dark vanilla, fitting of this category. This is definitely a manly take on vanilla, by the way. Super oudi, Montal oud. It's an oud accord, it's not animalic. Well, no, not to me. It just has that kind of musty smell of oud accord, made with cypriol and spices and woods. I mean, who knows, they might be using the real thing here, but it's acting more like cypriol, nagarmotha. But it's lots of vanilla, so that there's a powdery effect, also ambery for sure. Lots of amber. I'm picking up saffron, so it's getting leathery too. And there's spices here in addition to the saffron. So definitely the idea of dark vanilla is appropriate for this. Very manly vanilla, I think. In fact, it's called dark vanilla. I feel like the vanilla takes a back seat there. It's not even the main ingredient, but you know, it's called dark vanilla, so we have to feature it here. But the next fragrance from the house of 2, this is Golden Powder. So Golden Powder and THOO fragrances was recently one of my deep dive videos. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it. This is definitely on the list. It's one of my favorites from the house. I really love the way this fragrance smells. And you definitely have that golden powder effect. I did mention that I get something chocolatey from this, but like a chocolate cacao. But I think if you guys know the ingredient carob is, C-A-R-O-B. I think it was very popular in the 70s for vegans to eat to replace chocolate. It's kind of like a dry bean that's made into, I don't know what it's made into, like a molasses or something. Yeah, I think it's a molasses because it's a delicacy in my culture. And it kind of acts like that a little bit. Like it's acting a bit chocolatey, but it's not quite chocolatey. It's kind of dry. It's dried up like cacao, but again, not super chocolatey, but it's sweet and dusty and powdery. Golden powder. Really good, great smell, I think. It's got a little bit of oud, woods, lots of woods, spices, and amber. But again, super dusty, powdery, dry, and really delicious, I think. And it comes with a really beautiful, gorgeous looking bottle. What do you guys think? As I mentioned in the deep dive video for 2, or the House of Oud, I said, reminds me of the desert when it's so dry on the ground and it's like cracked. Kind of what it reminds me of. Beautiful bottle from the House of Oud, or 2. That is Golden Powder. And next, going to the House of Tiziana Terenzi, it's Dionisio. Yeah, this is also a daring recommendation, by the way. It's super animalic, so use with caution. To my nose, it's not. I don't know what it is. I must not be very sensitive to the animalic notes in here. Other people have told me it's super animalic. This to me reminds me of Vanille Antique from Byredo, which I have coming up, but with a super musky animalic touch that some people pick up and I don't pick up. I don't get it. It doesn't act animalic whatsoever, but to me, it reminds me of Vanille Antique, kind of like antique woods, boozy vanilla, very woody, dusty, and spicy, and I guess animalic to some people. Even on my skin, it doesn't get animalic. I don't get it. I'm not super sensitive to whatever animalics. I thought there was castoreum in here, from what I remember. I don't recall. I think it is castoreum, though, which in general usually was used to, you know, create a leather accord in fragrances like Chanel's Antaeus was featuring the castoreum note. But again, this one doesn't get animalic to me at all. I actually really love that. And I like the fact that it's super long lasting because it is an extrait parfum. But it does give a year, and I don't know if there's differences between the years. You can also find these fragrances super inexpensive online. And the last fragrance in this category, we've got Quinto Cantos, or Vicanto Mirabile. Sister house to Tiziana Terenzi, by the way, if you guys didn't know. A dark resinous gourmand, if that makes sense. So I put it here because it's dark, resinous, and ambery, but it's got enough bright notes to brighten it up. Eventually, in the dry down, it gets super dark again, very ambery, has those resinous qualities, but it starts off pretty bright, but it's super potent. It's an extrait parfum, very long lasting. And just like the fragrances that Terenzi creates, you know, he makes, well, all of their fragrances in all of their sister houses, including Terenzi, are extrait parfum. So they're very, very long lasting. And again, it's kind of like a clash of brightness with darkness. It's gourmand, but doesn't act super gourmand. It starts off that way. Oh, it's good. It's really, really great. So that's Quinto Canto or V Canto Mirabile. And that's the last fragrance in the dark amber, resinous, smoky, leathery, boozy category. Thanks so much for watching that video, guys. What are your favorite dark amber, resinous, smoky, leathery, boozy vanilla fragrances? Let me know. Add a comment below. Is there something that I missed that I did not feature here? Do mention what it is. Add a comment. I'd like to check it out. The video that I shot, the original video, is a approximately 3 hour runtime video, and it was 100 vanilla fragrances, so I couldn't fit more. Maybe there's a few others that I have. Maybe there'll be a part 2. But if you want to watch that whole entire video in one sitting, you can. It is the vanilla fragrances deep dive video. I have it linked in the info box. But if you're more into the idea of watching shorter videos, make sure to catch the remainder of the segments aired separately. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like the video, please share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon. It helps with the algorithm and getting the video out further. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. And again, don't forget, Scentfest SF. I would love to see you here. Goodbye.